Hey there. Coming at you today to give some thoughts, some reviews on some Sutliff aromatic blends. Smoking right now though, in this old K-Woody 13B. It's a nice author shape, but not in the best shape. It's the first pipe I bought for myself. Is ironically Cornell & Deal's Big and Burly. Pretty much the opposite of the blends I'm going to be talking about today. Sutliff's Motlto Dolce, Spinnaker, and Blue Danube. These are all aromatic blends, all pretty sweet. And I'm not a big smoker of aromatics, so don't let my review be the final word for that reason. First one that I tried is a Motlto Dolce. If you look in here, it's, I don't know how well you can see that as I'm dumping it out, it's very dark and wet. Even the lighter tobaccos have a darker hue to them because they're absolutely soaked. Not sure if that's the flavoring they're soaked in or not. They're just straight humectants, but it's a blend that just looks and feels wet. Vanilla, caramel, and honey. Vanilla, caramel, and honey are the flavor notes, which really do come through quite strongly. With this blend, as well as with the Spinnaker, which I'll talk about next, you don't get much tobacco flavor. It's just mostly like smoking vanilla, like a cake or something. It's very rich and sweet. A lot of aromatics, sometimes you get the room note of the flavoring, but it doesn't come through as much in the taste. But this is quite the opposite of that. You get a lot of that sweet vanilla caramel flavor coming through, almost like eating a dessert. And so that's what you're getting here. Burns pretty well. I think I'm guessing that there's some kind of liquor or something used in the flavoring that makes them so wet, because it still burns pretty well. It also tends to have a crackly sound when you're lighting it, as I guess some of that stuff burns off. So if you're looking for a super sweet aromatic with those sorts of rich flavors to it, Motlto Dolce might be right up your alley. Personally, it's not something I like to smoke a whole lot. Maybe every once in a while for a change of pace, but not my favorite for sure. Next I tried Spinnaker. This is called Burley and Black Cavendish with a delightful mixture of sweet and tart. I really picked up fruity notes from this. I'm thinking like a tart cherry sort of note to this blend. Yeah, like almost like a cough drop-ish sort of cherry note. You can see, I hope, that it's much drier looking. It is much drier, but still on the moist side. pretty smooth, but has that also kind of a sharp tartness to it as well. Also very highly flavored, just like the Motlto Dolce. So if you like your aromatics to be very, very aromatic, those are some that you might consider picking up. I think with the Spinnaker, I actually was somewhat reminiscent of maybe like smoking a hookah, if you enjoy that. That's something it might be comparable to. Some of the fruity sorts of shisha blends. And then last, but certainly not least, Blue Danube, aromatic golden Cavendish with Burleys and Virginias. This is fairly moist as well, but does not seem to be quite as moist. The topping, this is definitely an aromatic. I don't want to give the impression this is like a natural blend at all. Much lighter tobaccos, no black Cavendish in here. But with this blend, you do taste the tobacco coming through. So if the level of aromatic flavor added in these is a 5 out of 5, I'd put this maybe around a 3 or a 3.5. It is a smoother with maybe some slight fruity notes, but it's not that tart sort of fruity flavor at all that you get from Spinnaker. It's a smoother, perhaps vanilla or something like that, but then you also get a little bit of that Virginia Burley sort of tobacco coming through, the smooth golden Cavendish coming through, and you get a lot of that in the flavor and aroma as well. Well, perhaps I shouldn't say a lot, but it definitely comes through and makes its presence felt. For that reason, the Blue Danube was my favorite of the three that I've tried of these Sutliff aromatics so far. It's one that's more like tobacco, which I like smoking tobacco. That's just the way my preferences lie. I'm hesitant for that reason to give these a numbered rating, like I give this 3 out of 5 stars, because I don't often smoke aromatics, and so I don't want to turn you off from them just because that's not the thing I prefer. That said, this would be the one that I might continue smoking more of as a change of pace out of all three of them, because my tastes do run that way. I don't like the extremely flavored blends. When I do smoke an aromatic, a lot of times I just like to have something that still tastes like tobacco, but with that, a little bit sweeter note to it that you get from the Blue Danube. So those are my thoughts. Hope you've enjoyed this, and hopefully it's helpful to you. Cheers.